back to the Scaredy Cat Guide, my friends. My name is Jenny, and today we are gonna ride some simulators. Now, it is an absolutely gorgeous day here at Hollywood Studios, and you know, I just felt like it was a great day to go conquer some fears. I actually just got my frequent fear pass for Halloween Horror Nights, and I need to kick it into gear, guys, because I am terrified. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to try to face some fears and try to ride some of those simulators that I really dread.
Thank you so much for your patience.
Thank you.
Coming up.
I mean, could we have picked a more perfect day? It is absolutely stunning. Now, Hollywood Studios actually has two simulators that I have in mind for tonight, and they are both Star Wars themed, which is exciting. I actually do like these rides individually. It's just that I don't usually go for them because that claustrophobia really gets me, and I certainly don't go for them both at the same time, like in the same night. Now, as many of you may know, simulators are not typically super friendly in the motion sickness department. Now, luckily, I don't get motion sick that often, but I'm really hungry right now, and I think I want to stop and get dinner. I have been craving a Ronto wrap, so I think I might go do that first, which could be a terrible idea. I guess we'll find out. And since the Ronto wrap does happen to be in Galaxy's Edge, we will start over there, and after going to Docking Bay 7, I thought we would maybe start with Smugglers Run. Also, I heard some tragic news, you guys. My friend told me that they stopped selling the Cuban sandwich over at the Backlot Express. So I'm gonna go look at the menu. I am praying that he was wrong and that was just a rumor, but I have a feeling he might be right. Okay, this is actually a tragedy. Yes. I am so heartbroken. Now, luckily, it doesn't matter very much for us anyway tonight since we are getting a Ronto wrap, but I am devastated. I love that Cuban. It was so good. Now, I was actually here the other night and got to see this construction, but it was the first time that I'd seen it in a while. Maybe it's been up for a bit, but it was news to me. I am really so excited for that Monsters, Inc. attraction. I think it's gonna be so fun. I actually saw a mock-up video of a vertical launch, which looks so intense, but in a really fun way, so I could not be more excited for it. And into Galaxy's Edge we go. I'm actually interested to see what Rise of the Resistance is looking like, because if the wait time is not that long, we might have to hit that one too. We'll see. It's usually pretty darn long, but to me the crowds look pretty thin tonight. And also, I will note that while Rise of the Resistance does have a single rider line, in my experience, it's really not faster at all than the actual standby line. In fact, I've waited longer in the single rider line, so we will not be doing that tonight, but let's take a look at that standby and see what we're looking at. It looks like we are sitting right at 60 minutes, which is pretty long. I would say if it drops to like around 45, I might consider it, but 60 is quite a lot, especially when we're not actually here to ride rides tonight. Now I suppose we should start off with an anxiety check. I'm actually feeling really good tonight. I'm honestly surprised. My oldest started school this week, so our routine is all over the place, and I definitely have been more on the anxious side in my home life for sure. But I feel very relaxed tonight. I don't know if it's just the Disney vibe, but I feel really good. So we'll see if that stays intact with the simulators that we're about to ride. I'm hoping so. I'm feeling pretty brave. Now, I am convinced that nothing can beat this view. I love walking through here. Oh, Mando's out tonight. There he is. All right, we have arrived at Docking Bay 7, so hopefully there's not too much of a line, but I actually love coming in here because it does tend to be pretty open, and also the AC is just hard to beat. Yeah, it does not look too busy at all. Now, the question is, do I actually want a Ronto wrap, or do I want to try something new? Ooh, I don't know. Maybe I'll get a dessert tonight. Oh my gosh, this is quite the spread. I always forget that the Ronto wrap comes with the yucca fries, so this is a lot of food, but I'm excited. I'm hungry. Like I said, it could be a terrible idea right before some simulators, but we're gonna dig in anyway. Well, I conquered every bit of that meal, and let me just say, that Black Spire mousse was a standout this evening. Oh my gosh, so good. I've actually had it before, but I've just had like a single bite at a time. I was trying my friends, and this time I got the whole thing, and oh my gosh, was it worth it. So unbelievably good. Now, it actually looks like Smugglers Run only has a wait of 25 minutes, and I will say, this ride is much different than Rise of the Resistance when it comes to the single rider line. I've had great luck doing single rider. It tends to be very quick in my experience. So I think I'm gonna do that. I'm definitely feeling a little bit anxious, you know, it's definitely claustrophobic in there, but I do love the queue, so I'm excited to hop in line. Thank you. Awesome. Now we're already starting off strong with a pretty claustrophobic queue. I haven't been in the single rider line actually in a bit, so I'm wondering how much of the queue I will be skipping here. But yeah, definitely got those tight hallways right off the bat. Now the good news is it's not packed with people, which is always a good thing. I tend to do okay in these hallway type queues as long as I'm not just like packed in there like sardines with other people. And I am cruising through this queue, so hopefully this will be basically a walk-on. I guess we'll find out. Now I don't know if it's that flight of stairs or the anxiety, but my heart is definitely pounding. But I am basically walking around, so that's good. I don't have to sit here and wait in my anxiety.
So I'm gonna have 1 and then 2. Two pilots side by side facing.
Let's go. Seatbelts on, bags on the floor in front of us.
Okay, remain seated and supervise younglings.
I've actually never been pilot before, so I'm pretty nervous.
Grab crates from their ships. I can sell the crates, and we can split the profits. Right, pilot. Made the jump to hyperspace. And good luck.
Let's see what we can do.
Oh my god. Oh god. No!
Mission complete. Yes, you can say hi to your new friends.
Look at all these crates. You are skilled smugglers indeed.
Transport back to the maintenance bay.
Right, mission accomplished. Wow, that was actually really fun. Now, riding pilot was an entirely different experience. I'm really surprised I'd never done it before, but it really made a huge difference. I feel like all the other parts that I've played in the past seemed a little bit like you were playing with a controller that wasn't really plugged in, you know what I mean? But I really, really enjoyed it this time. I thought it was so fun, and I definitely could tell that the simulator was reacting to my movements, which was really, really cool. I also felt like sitting in the front felt a little bit less claustrophobic for some reason. Maybe just having the screen right in front of me, so I wasn't really looking through the entire pod and noticing how small of a space I was actually in. For some reason, I did pretty well. I mean, I can tell my heart's thumping a little bit. Definitely had some nerves and some anxiety like going in, but as far as the actual experience was, it was so action-packed that I really didn't have time to feel anxious. So on to Star Tours, which is decidedly my least favorite of the two. To me, Star Tours is just everything that a classic simulator embodies, and it tends to be really, really claustrophobic. It's a little bit of an older attraction, which means that, you know, it can be just slightly more uncomfortable in that department. But I'm really excited to get on it because it's been quite a while, and maybe I'll handle it way better than I'm anticipating. But so far, so good. I'm proud of myself. I conquered my fear, and I did it on a full stomach, which is doubly impressive. Now, I had also heard that the Mandalorian makes an appearance in Smugglers Run, but I had yet to experience it until tonight. So that was super fun, especially after seeing Mando out and about in the park. Now, I have never been one for character meets. I don't know, they just feel super awkward to me. And even though the Mandalorian to me feels a little bit better, maybe because of the mask, I don't know. I feel like meeting the face characters where you're staring into somebody's eyes, that feels awkward to me. And then also the mascot characters too. So I think I need some tips from you guys. How do I conquer my fear of meeting the characters? And I'm a pretty extroverted person. I can make friends with a stranger. For some reason though, these character meets are just something that I have not gotten used to even as a local. So if you have any tips for conquering that fear, maybe that needs to be a whole nother video. And it does appear that Rise of the Resistance has gone up to 70 minutes, unfortunately. So it definitely looks like we're not gonna be doing that tonight, but that's okay, we'll save it for another day. Now, I'm also really curious to see how rough Smugglers Run is compared to Star Tours, because I've never ridden them back to back like this. I have a feeling that Star Tours is gonna be a little bit rougher just because it's an older attraction, and that does tend to be the case. However, maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised here, but I am not really looking forward to this one. I don't know why I saved the worst for last, but it's okay. I believe in us. We can do this, and I feel like if I can conquer one simulator, I can conquer two. And just another anxiety check-in. I am still feeling pretty good. I will say, like I said, I feel like my heart rate is up just a little bit, feeling a little bit fluttery and jittery, and I think it's just from riding that first attraction. But overall, I'm feeling pretty good. Definitely feeling good enough to attempt a second facing of the fear here as we head to Star Tours. And there she blows, looking like we're still sitting at a 5-minute wait, which is typical for this ride, so let's go ahead and hop in line. I love walking under this AT-AT. Very cool, probably my favorite part of this attraction because it's one of my least favorite in all of Disney World. Another great thing about this queue is that it is mostly indoors, and because the wait time is so low, you pretty much walk right into the AC, which is always a good thing, especially on a hot day like this one. There's 3PO in all of his shining glory. Looking good, my man. Now, I do find this queue a good bit less claustrophobic than Smugglers Run. Now, I will say that we do have a lot of animatronics here, so if you or someone in your party doesn't like animatronics, they really are everywhere. Now, they're very cool to look at, they're pretty limited, but they are everywhere.
Hi, welcome in Gate E, my friends.
Row 1, okay?
Awesome, thank you. Oh, I am the only one in row 1. I don't know how I feel about that. I also feel like the Star Tours queue has a very specific smell. Don't know what I'm talking about. Yep, I'm definitely a little bit nervous. Just a little bit. So I'm seated all the way at the end, like right next to the door. So I feel really boxed in today.
R2-D2, I am not programmed to fly these things. I am
We know you have this rebel spy on board.
I've never seen that human before.
Oh no!
Thrusters, are they important? Brace yourself! Nobody move! I mean everybody move! Lean back! Do not move! R2, do something!
Spit that out.
Nicely done, Star Tours. Appreciate the help.
R2-D2, don't you dare!
That's my ship.
On behalf of the Star Tours, thank you for joining us.
All right, we survived. Barely. All right, so I haven't answered the question of which one is rougher. It is definitely Star Tours. Now, like I said, I was right up against the door. I also made the mistake of crossing my legs when I sat down, and just a tip, guys, definitely plant both feet on the floor because I was definitely tossed around a good bit. I definitely had like a few hits on the shoulder where I was slammed into the seat, so definitely plant both feet. Some of that could have been my fault, for sure. But definitely a rougher ride than Smugglers Run, by far. I still think that Smugglers Run is just a better ride. I mean, I do enjoy Star Tours for the nostalgia factor, but let's just say I'm not really looking forward to getting on it anytime soon. Now, my heart rate is definitely not happy, but just look at these ears. Oh, they're so cute. Wow, I really feel like the sun set a good bit while we were in there, and we weren't in there for long, but yeah, I definitely, like I said, Smugglers Run is the better ride. To me, it's the less claustrophobic ride, strangely, even though Star Tours is definitely a bigger cabin. I think the fact that you're packed in there with so many people, you really don't have any room between you and the person next to you, or in my case, me and the wall. And to me, it just felt a little more cramped and less immersive. I think that's a big, big factor with these rides, with these simulators especially. The more immersive it is, the less it feels like you're sitting in a box that's moving up and down. So I, for sure, would recommend Smugglers Run over Star Tours if you have a fear of simulators or a claustrophobia thing like I do. Now it is only 8 o'clock, but I'm feeling tired. And I am feeling exhausted, not just physically, but also emotionally. You know, I conquered 2 fears tonight. I am so proud of myself. I normally would not volunteer for doing something like that, but I wanted to do something brave. I wanted to see how I handled this fear before I went on into HHN, which I'm super excited about, but like I said, definitely nervous. But I would definitely say that this evening was a major success. I'm so proud of myself, I am proud of us, and I really can't thank you enough for coming along for the ride. And of course, if you liked this video and you would like to see more like it, don't forget to like, subscribe, stick around, stay a while. We would love to have you in our little community of anxious riders. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one.